Hello everybody and welcome back to Expert Examiner IELTS. My name is Glyn and in this video we're going to do some feedback on Dola's speaking test. So let's check it out. Good afternoon, my name is Glyn. Would you please tell me your full name?
My full name is Nazneen Akhtar and my nickname is Dola. You can call me Dola.
Okay, thank you,
And my
Dola.
surname is Islam.
Thank you. Now, in this first part of the test, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Where are you from, Dola?
I'm from Faridpur, Dhaka, to be more exact.
I'm from Foibuitaka, to be more exact.
It's called.
I don't know what to be more exact is, but maybe I just don't know the name of the place. So maybe she said one place and then the second place to be more exact. I'm not sure, but okay.
Jamot.
So we've already got quite a few, non-English place names, I guess. Always a good idea to, if you're going to use words that are not English words, to explain what those are. I'm from a small town which is called da da da, rather than, I'm also a Welsh speaker, right? I wouldn't say to my friends, oh, I've been to Llandudno. I would say, oh, I've been to a small town in Wales that we call Llandudno, because that helps the listener to understand better.
I'm from Faridpur, Dhaka, to be
I'm from Foibuitaka. Like, some more information. Is it a town? Is it a city? Is it a village?
more exact. It's called Jamot.
It's called Jamot. Again, I don't know what is being said. And do you like this place?
I like this place.
So there's no paraphrase there. Do you like this place? I like this place. Very mechanical transaction.
Uh, when I child, then
When I was a child, so there's no grammaring there.
I stay here,
I stay here. I used to stay here. Or I stayed here. Or I lived here. I don't know why I stay.
and there
So some hesitation there mid-sentence.
people are very kind. So I love this place.
Cool, that's nice. The people are very kind, so I love this place. Clear. And what do people in this place usually do in their free time? So there is something called latency here. It's not written in the IELTS criteria, but latency is the gap between the time that the question is asked and the time that the question is answered. And so the longer or the bigger the latency, the more of a problem it is with fluency. Fluent speakers kind of listen, understand, and start immediately. Even if they don't know exactly what they're going to say, they usually find some way to fill the sentence, like, ooh, what do I like about it? Well, let me think about that for a second. Well, probably, I don't know, but like maybe one of the things they can access that language and fill the space, fill the empty silence with that type of language.
Gossiping is other and outing.
They're gossiping each other. She means gossiping each other, but maybe she means gossiping about each other or gossiping with each other. There's also a problem with the ch sound. Maybe this is just the problem with the word each, but I think it's a problem with the ch sound in general, but that's something to keep looking for.
And sometimes they pray because in this area is most of people are Hindus.
So again, you can see that hesitation, the mid-sentence. Most of the people are Hindus. So yeah, quite a lot of hesitation there, mid-sentence hesitation. And is your hometown popular with tourists? Again, notice the latency. There is a gap.
Yes, my hometown popular in tourist.
Again, no real attempt at a paraphrase, and even echoing back the examiner's language, the candidate isn't able to do that. Is your hometown popular with tourists? Even the echo should be, yes, my hometown is popular with tourists, but we get a different answer. Is your hometown popular with tourists?
Yes, my hometown popular in tourist.
Yes, my hometown popular in tourists. So three problems there. My hometown is popular, verb to be with adjectives, popular with tourists, not in tourist. So we have a mistake with singular and plural. We have a mistake with not using the verb to be. We have a mistake with the wrong preposition.
Because there have some
There have.
tent, some
So it's not clear. And there's only, very often with higher level candidates, if they can't say something precisely, they can speak around the subject and they can get that meaning across using either precise language or imprecise language. And what we usually see with lower level learners is that they have one attempt at saying it and then they offer no explanation. They have tent. And with lower level learners, I don't know if they just don't have the awareness or if they don't have the linguistic resources, but they usually have one attempt at explaining and they just hope that it's going to be enough. But for me, I don't know what that means.
visiting place and have a poetry. Um,
Happy poetry, not sure.
Kobi Joshimuddin.
I guess that's the name of somebody.
He's very famous writer.
Oh, I guess it's a poet. Poetry is the art form, the genre of writing poetry, but a poet is the person. Okay, thank you. Let's talk about and it's not even immediately clear when her turn's finished. Now, usually when a person speaks, it's quite clear when their turn is finished. Some type of cue, some type of signal that lets the other person know that it's their time to speak. It could be used with intonation, it could be used with vocab, but with this candidate, it's unclear. She just speaks and then at some point stops, and as the examiner, you think, well, has she stopped now? Is it time for the next question? Transport in your town now. What's the most popular kind of transport? Again, notice the latency, that gap.
Most popular transport is auto bike.
So again, no attempt at paraphrase, just echoing back the examiner's language. And I don't know about autobike. Is autobike a word? Motorbike, maybe?
And rickshaw.
Rickshaw,
This is
nice.
very popular in my country, in my city.
And not adding anything, right? Most popular transport is autobike and rickshaw, and this is very popular in my city. Okay, but you're not adding anything. Is it used by most people? Is it used by people who are going to work, going to school? Is it used by, is it busier at the weekend or in rush hour or something like this? Or is it a comfortable form of transport? Why do people use it? Is it because it's cheap? Is it reliable? None of those details are added. How often do you use this kind of transport? Again, notice the latency.
When I out
Again, no verb to be. When I am out.
when I go out
Ah, nice. We got a verb. When I go out.
at my home, then I use regularly rickshaw.
Okay, we get a word regularly. That's a nice answer. That's a coherent answer to the question how often. We get that word regularly, but there's no great development there. But regularly is nice. And are there any traffic problems in your city?
Yes, there are many traffic problems.
Again, not much paraphrase, just yes, there are many traffic problems.
So some of people are facing jam,
Okay, traffic jams.
and there are lots of vehicles,
Nice, vehicles, nice.
trucks, bus, and
Okay, trucks, buses. Again, missing that plural.
auto rickshaw. So
Okay, so she's showing some good knowledge of vocabulary connected to transport, right? I don't know about autobuses, but it is accepted. Auto bikes, I'm not sure. Motorbikes sounds better to me. But rickshaw and things like this, trucks, vehicles, it's all good language.
cars. So
But we don't want just long lists, and this is another thing that lower level students tend to do because they don't quite have the skills to develop answers naturally. The only way that they can speak at length is by giving lists of things, right? What kind of food do you like? Oh, I like hot dogs and burgers and pizza and sushi and French fries and cakes and biscuits and cookies and desserts and jelly and peanut butter. Just listing things that isn't good development.
jam just gather.
All right, let's talk about bicycles now. Can you ride a bicycle?
Yes, I'm ride bicycle
I like the intonation. Yes. I like yes. Like of course. Yes. Very positive.
when I was little, at class
Finally, we get that verb to be when I was little. Nice.
in class 5. Then my father brought a
Broad pastime. Nice.
bicycle for me. My father said, when you are
Said we don't get reported speech. My father said when you are instead of my father said when I was. But okay.
when your results are good, I just buy a bicycle. So just my result is very good. So father brought me a bicycle.
Okay, bicycle, not bicycle, but um, this is nice development here. And do you still ride a bicycle nowadays?
Still now, I'm not uh, cycling because
I don't cycle is better than I'm not cycling.
uh, in this area, not allowed any girls bicycle.
So a bit of a problem with the word order. In this area, not allowed any girls bicycle. Like girls are not allowed to ride bicycles in this area.
Riding. People are not saying it's good.
People don't think it's good. That's quite sad. I don't know about. So I know all countries have their own cultural norms, but it seems sad to me that you would stop somebody from riding a bicycle. But I don't know why.
It's like a bad effect for girls.
Girls. So we get that problem with the vowel sound. Gals, but should be girls. And do you think it's difficult to learn to ride a bicycle?
No, it's just easy.
I really like the intonation there too. So in small parts, we get really nice intonation. No, it's easy. No, it's easy. It's good natural intonation.
Ride bicycle.
Okay, an answer is just far too short. Okay, thank you. Now, in this next part of the test, okay, so comments on part one. So, of course, the critical problem is the lack of fluency, I guess. The answers are just very, very short. There's no real attempt at paraphrasing. Across the board, we see some weaknesses. Answers are short, no attempt at paraphrasing, some decent vocab connected to the subject, some nice little bits of intonation, but certainly not sustained over long stretches of speech. Her pronunciation is generally easy enough to understand. There are some problems, like with the ch sound, she pronounces as s. Also, there are some mispronunciations of individual words, like she says bicycles instead of bicycles. She also uses gals instead of girls. Grammar is probably another very noticeable weakness where we almost get no sentences at all without errors. The errors occur with very basic language. There aren't really any attempts at any difficult language. There was like a bit of direct. My father said, when your results are good, then I will buy you a bicycle. So maybe some level of complexity in the sentences, but we really don't need to think about the wide range of structures because there are so many errors with the most basic forms of grammar. We're already putting her in that, like, her grammar is going to be 4 or 5, so we don't need to think about the wide variety of structures. Okay, let's see how she does in part two. Part two will be challenging because she has to speak on her own for 2 minutes, and because her answers have been so short, it could be quite difficult for her. But let's take a look at the task. So the task is to describe a goal that you would like to achieve. So you should say what the goal is, how easy or difficult, how you plan to achieve this goal. Okay. So there are some references to future time here. So I'm going to do something, I will do something, I might do something, even some other modals like I could do something or I should do something. A lot of possibility, a lot of scope for modal language and other language that talks about future time in English. Explain why this is one of your goals. Okay, vocab is open there, depends on the theme. But of course, I'm not really focusing too much on grammar and vocab here. I'm more interested in her fluency and coherence, but let's have a listen. And I will let you know when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Yes, sir. Every human have a goal, and I have a goal that I would like to achieve. My
No paraphrase.
goal in this time, my goal is study in abroad and and finish my higher study. Then I will get a well, very well job.
A well paying job, maybe, or a very good job?
In this time, I just saw my family financial condition.
In this time now, I just saw in the past. I don't know why we've gone to the past.
It's very low, so all the time I had faced some money problem. So in this
So I'm not. Maybe I can understand the goal of traveling or studying abroad and having financial problems. Maybe it's connected.
time, my goal is achieve a good ladies lifestyle.
Laddish lifestyle. I think she means lavish lifestyle. And this seems to me like a piece of memorized vocabulary. Maybe she's just learned lavish lifestyle and wants to use it. There's a mispronunciation. We should have a lavish, but it comes out as laddish lifestyle. So it's just a little bit confusing because she started by saying her goal is to study abroad and get a good job. Now she's saying her job is to have a lavish lifestyle. Those things are kind of connected, I guess, because if you get a good job, you get good money, and if you get good money, then you can afford to live a lavish lifestyle. But I'd like to see the candidate making those connections herself instead of just hoping that the examiner makes the connections.
And most of the time I thought I just achieved a goal.
I thought. So a problem with those th sounds, they're quite tricky.
it's it's
Get a breakdown there.
it's
Repetition, it's reformulation, false starts.
it's properly achieved because when
Grammar's break. It's probably achieved because when it, don't know, can't quite understand that
when
grammar.
I was very little, I just saw my cousins. He is
My cousin or cousins? Because you say cousins and now you say he. So cousins, they, cousin, he or she.
stay in abroad, and I just saw him a very facilities life lead.
I saw him very facilities life lead. So there's no real grammar there.
So I thought I will be
Also, just a point to candidates. Please try to stay in your camera frame. I don't know how it feels for you viewers watching this, but it's always. I hope candidates can stay in the frame so we can see candidates' faces. I haven't blocked this out. This isn't a problem with my editing. This is a problem with the candidate just kind of doing this, moving the head or something like this. But anyway, that's not important.
go to abroad and study higher education, and I get a very good job and visiting many places, so that I actually I
So really losing the coherence here. I can kind of piece it together, right? I understand that she looked at her family's financial situation, realized that, that they have some financial difficulties. She has a cousin that went abroad and has quite a nice life, and she thought that maybe this would be something that she could also do, that she could study abroad, get a good job, earn some money, and live a better life. Now, wonderful idea. I hope she can achieve this, of course. Great if you can. But when I'm listening to her, this information is only partially coming from her. I have to connect those dots in my head to really understand that, because she's not achieving communicative success to explain with words, with language. I just have to, like a detective, look at the clues and think, that's what she means. So this, we would say, is that the candidate's speech can be understood only after interpretation, which isn't great.
I achieve this goal, and my favorite I'm very
So just notice this false starts, the repetition. Just watch again.
I'm very
My favorite. I'm very. My favorite. I'm very.
um, I'm very happy to know that
Okay, thank
I
you.
don't
Thank you. All right. Okay, so of course it's always uncomfortable as an examiner when a candidate is speaking and you have to say, thank you, thank you, thank you. It always feels, even though, of course, the candidates know that this is just part of the test. I know it's just part of the test, but always part of you feels a little bit rude interrupting and saying, thank you, thank you. But you have to do it. Okay, so same type of problems. Problems with coherence. She started okay. You can kind of understand what she means. Her pronunciation is generally understandable, but she does miss some of those phonological features, particularly consonant sounds. This time we had problems with the th sound. She doesn't. There's not a lot of like chunking and sustained intonation over long stretches, but her pronunciation is generally clear and easy enough to understand, and is probably her strongest point. No great amount of vocab in there. Enough vocab to get across basic meaning, I would say. Grammar is really lacking, and fluency and coherence is quite weak there too. But let's get on to part three. So you've been talking about a goal that you would like to achieve. Let's move on now and talk about goals in a more general way. Why do you think it's important for people to have goals?
actually act-
So there's a bit of I'll explain. The candidate starts with the word actually, and the reason she's breaking down here is because before the test, I mentioned we had I always have a chat with the candidates before the test begins, just to speak to them about why they're taking IELTS and what their future plans are, and to see how they're preparing. And I noticed in the pre-test chat that she was using actually for every answer, and so I decided to give her a bit of advice and told her to be careful with how much she uses actually. And I think now she just uses actually and then realizes and then stops it. It's okay to use actually sometimes. It's okay to use it a few times. The only thing I'm saying is we don't want to start every answer with actually, or every answer with of course, or every answer with yes, or every answer with definitely. But okay, let's keep going.
Most of the people goals are literally need because we don't have any goal,
Oh, goals are needed, I think she wants to use, so she doesn't quite have that passive voice.
so we don't achieve our goal. We don't
Kind of get that achieve. You still hear that S with the achieve. Kind of.
have any plan for goal, so we don't uh,
Repetition of that word goal, goal, goal over and over.
work work
Work.
to achieve any goal. So everyone need to goal.
I think we had the word goals like 7 times there in one sentence. But why do we need goals? So I didn't feel like the question was answered. I think she just said that, people need goals, but I really want to know why people need goals. Again, the latency.
When we don't get any goals, so we don't achieve any goals. So
When we don't have any goals, we don't achieve any goals. Okay.
we need plan goals.
Still not satisfied about why we need goals. Maybe you can say that, without goals, we can't make progress in our lives, or without goals, we can't achieve success. And everybody wants to do good things in their lives. And, sometimes you can just, if you don't have goals, you can just waste your life doing things that are not important. And then at the end of your life, maybe you can regret that you were not more ambitious. Those are some nice, simple ideas. Um, and can you think of any goals which are not very realistic?
Sorry, I can catch. Please repeat again.
Cool. So that's a nice bit of functional. Please repeat again. It's a polite imperative. Fine. Can you think of any goals which are not very realistic?
Uh, as like dreamy goal is a very when we dreamy goal is very
I don't think I need to add comment. So I think everyone sees that the candidate has difficulty and is breaking down here. It's okay.
we
Let's.
don't we don't achieve dreamy goals because which goal are don't our area, so we
So, some examples of some unrealistic goals might be to become the world's greatest movie star, or to become a popular musician, or to be an actor, or maybe to be the president of the country, or to be a billionaire director of a huge company, or something like that. Those are examples of unrealistic goals.
don't get any goals.
What kind of goals do young people often have?
In this
Again, I don't know how it is in what it's like in Bangladesh, in the UK. At least when I was younger, most people had goals to be, a musician or a sports star, but also things like an astronaut or a firefighter or a police officer or a teacher or a mother or a father. I don't know, or a soldier or something like that.
time, young people just need a job. That's our country people goals. And
They need a job which our country people goals. Yeah, it's a lot of words connect, a lot of words put together, but they don't convey meaning. Those words, when you put them together, they don't mean anything.
earn money and lavish
Okay, earn money, nice little collocation.
lifestyle lead.
Again, it's an attempt to use this lavish lifestyle lead. Just listen to it here.
And earn money and lavish lifestyle lead.
Okay, this again is evidence for me that it's a piece of memorized vocabulary that she's learnt maybe to lead a lavish lifestyle, and she's just trying to use it in IELTS, maybe because some video or some person said, oh, in the IELTS, use the word lavish lifestyle to lead a lavish lifestyle because that sounds good. And I think a lot of candidates do this. I notice it very often. Candidates go into the test thinking, I'm going to use lavish lifestyle or natural beauty or picturesque, breathtaking views or something like this, and then they look for opportunities to use them. I don't think it's the best idea. And do you
And
think
some of the people goals are business, marketplace, online marketing, and
again, notice the list here. We get a list of 4 things that aren't, I mean, they're connected, but they're not connected with language, just a
goals
list.
are business, marketplace, online marketing, and um, clothes, shoes, and makeup items. any types of goals.
So we get just a list again. We don't want lists, or at least lists are usually indicative of lower level learners. And
Yes.
do you think parents should set goals for their children, or do you think children should be allowed to set their own goals?
Ac- I'm thinking children's children's are set their own goals because
There's no modality there. It's about what should happen. Should children set, not do children set? And her answer is children are set, which, yeah, it's just grammatically wrong.
when children are set a goals, they just afford their goals.
I don't know what that means. They just effort their goals.
But parents are set a goal, they don't when they don't need they they don't happy the parents goal set, so that mm, every children needs this own goal set.
So even with interpretation, I can't quite work it out. I think she's saying that children aren't happy when parents set goals for them, so that's why it's important for children to set their own goals. I think that's what she's saying, but again, I have to just infer that. I have to guess that.
It's very important for us.
And do you think it's good for children or teenagers to have very ambitious goals, like becoming a famous actor or a musician?
Yes. Well,
Again, there's a bit of nice intonation. Yes, well, that's nice intonation.
if every children have some goals as like musician, uh, artist, and um dancing, so it's very it's very difficult for every children's adulthood when we just achieve our goals. Sometimes we our parents are don't buy some instrument for needed this type of
Again, the coherence is just running away. I'm really trying hard and focusing to understand the main idea, but I just can't get it here.
goals. So we are facing some problem and trouble.
Okay, thank you. That is the end of the test. All right, so let's get into some marks. Just a moment. All right, so we'll start with our fluency and coherence. So I think this is the lowest score I've given, I think, on this channel, which is 3. So there are pauses, there are long pauses between the question and the answer, and there are long pauses mid-sentence. There's very little linking and lots of listing. So fluency and coherence is a big problem here. It is at 3. Lexical resource is, relatively strong at 5. So you, the candidate, or let's say with you, you do show some vocab with both personal and impersonal subjects, right? Language about language about transport, for example. You can talk a little bit about riding bicycles and things not being allowed and things like this. So you do have some of that good vocab. There are frequent errors, especially with collocation, especially with like prepositions, like talk to somebody or gossip about something. So those collocating prepositions are missed a lot. But I think vocab we don't need to speak about vocab so much because it's a strong point. So yeah, you do have enough vocab to speak about personal and even some impersonal subjects, not with a great amount of flexibility, but enough the vocab is maybe enough to get meaning across in some but not all cases. Grammatical range and accuracy is also 3, unfortunately, very low here. So there are pretty much no error-free sentences. Every sentence has some type of grammatical mistake in there. And that's all I need to say. I don't need to talk about the range. Doesn't matter if it's basic grammar or if it's complex grammar, simple ideas or complex ideas. There are just mistakes with everything in terms of grammar. So that's why it goes to a 3. Pronunciation is at a 5 too. So at times, you show some nice and natural intonation, especially at the beginning of your answers. When you say things like yes, no, I don't know. So at times you show good intonation, and in general, you are relatively easy to understand. However, you do have some problems, especially with ch and th sounds. That's quite normal. Chunking, the way that you group words together. Chunking is difficult to notice very often because turns are short, but sometimes it is appropriate. So again, I don't want to talk too much about pronunciation because pronunciation is a strong point. The weak points then are fluency and coherence and grammatical range and accuracy. Oh, sorry, let's put the overall score. So quite easy to work this one out. The overall score here is 4.0. And key points to work on. So I would say you are not, and I know it's difficult to hear, but you are not ready for the IELTS test yet. That's my advice. Is if you need a score of 6.0, I think at this, if you need 6.0 or 6.5, because you want to study abroad, at this point, I think spending your money on IELTS is just a waste of money at the moment, because I don't think you can get that score, certainly not in the speaking. So you're not ready for the IELTS test yet, and you should focus on improving your general English skills. This means learning grammar, learning vocabulary, having speaking practice, things like this. You absolutely need to control the most basic grammar. You have to do that, because if we just get mistake after mistake after mistake with very simple grammar, it's really going to affect your grammar score. Speaking practice can be a help, but it's important to find a good partner or tutor who can support you. So I don't think just practicing speaking will help you. I think you need to practice speaking with somebody who can give you feedback. Practice speaking with someone who can tell you, this is a way that we can express our opinion. We can say, I think, or if you ask me, or this is a way, instead of saying like, oh, it's very good, you can make it stronger and say it's extremely good, or it's quite good, or this is the way that you can start a sentence. This is a way that you can end a sentence. So I think you really need speaking practice with somebody who can give you feedback on your speaking. But of course, all speaking practice is good practice. I'm a big fan of output, but that's a separate issue. So at the moment, I don't think that you are ready for IELTS, and I think you just have to improve your general English skills. I know it's not a nice thing to hear, and I know it's not very effective, but there are some people who have a level of like B2 and they need to get C1, and you can teach them some kind of techniques to improve their level and to get a higher score. But at the end of the day, if a candidate's level is, I think this candidate's speaking is about, A2, B1, between A2 and B1, and there really is no realistic expectation that a candidate, even the most hardworking, the most ambitious candidate with A2 B1, they really shouldn't be thinking about taking an IELTS test if they need to get a score of like 6.5. So yeah, but Dola was fun to speak to, a nice person, and I hope she does find a way to improve her general English skills before she takes the test. But yeah, for me, overall, 4.0 for this one. So I hope you found this feedback video useful. Of course, let me know if you have any comments. Do leave comments. Excuse me. Still a little bit sick. Of course, if you'd like to have your own free IELTS practice speaking test with feedback, feel free to get in touch with me. Information on how to contact me is given below. Please be patient because I have a lot of requests at the moment. I'm trying to get back to as many people as I can, but I can't guarantee that I will be able to respond to everybody. I'm also doing writing checks, so again, if you'd like me to check your IELTS writing tasks, again, you know how to contact me. Still so many people write comments saying, how can I contact you? How can I contact you? Information on how to contact me is given below this video. Okay, I think I'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening and see you again soon. Bye bye.